Um, it's kind of like getting a little like 70s ish.
It
Oh,
is. I like that though. I
I
think
do
that looks
too.
good on you, especially with the flat cap.
yeah, this is to keep it because otherwise it'll just like.
Yeah, with the cap plus the hair like that, you look like you're like in a documentary driving a taxi for the Beatles. Like you're one of the
uh,
other guys in A Hard Day's Night,
yeah.
helping them escape. Brandy, have you ever seen A Hard Day's Night?
I have watched it twice and seen clips intermittently throughout, but never stayed awake either of the times I tried to watch it.
It's one of those movies that I think people often just kind of scoff at and don't take very
Mm-hmm.
seriously. But I like legitimately love it. I think it's so good. I think it's really worth watching. It's bizarre. It's one of those like weird like symptoms of the time that it came out. Like who could ever pull that off now? Where it's like the first 20 minutes of the movie are literally just them running away from screaming fans.
And yet somehow it's probably just like fascinating.
Yeah,
I'd probably be like riveted. Be like,
yeah.
wow.
But then when it actually gets into the story, and not a, it's a pretty loose story, but still, and they actually like
Mm-hmm.
act and are running scenes and stuff, they are really funny and they're
They
really
Ah,
are
good. They're
really
really
funny.
good. Like, it's genuinely like great jokes. You laugh out loud a bunch.
I
Yeah.
actually got a hard day's night, like Blu-ray or something for my brother way back in the day. And I need to go reclaim that.
Yeah, you should. They've done. I mean, like even by comparison, Help is not as good. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and then some of the other like later ones are, like Yellow Submarine is like borderline unwatchable, um, but A Hard Day's Night is really fun, and it's this crazy document of like their earlier years and just how weird it was.
uh,
Yeah,
yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out.
I recommend it.
The Beatles, the Peter Jackson preview was so cool.
It's crazy, so crazy. You were the first person to show us that, and that's like it took the world by storm like hours later. But you sent it to the group chat.
I happened to like just be on YouTube when it like popped up, and it was like barely, yeah, it was just
So interesting. I had never seen footage like that much candid footage. I guess nobody has, right? That's the whole point
yeah,
from that era of their history.
uh,
Yeah, it's wild.
so cool.
I talked to Brendan briefly about um, how interesting it was, and like they look like they're really like they're months away from breaking up in that moment, but they
Mm-hmm.
look like they're having so much fun and really enjoying it and like having a blast. But you see the little things, like you can see like there's like not a shot that Yoko is not in. She's there every moment.
ah, that's rough.
And again, I don't like I love Yoko. I mean, like a fan of hers, but
Yeah,
you can certainly imagine like it's not hard to envision
you're
a
right.
scenario where even if everyone did love her, at least one bad take too many, where someone could be like, "Can we please get
Yeah.
people out of here? Anyone who shouldn't be here." This person at my feet, like
uh,
staring up at me as I'm recording this song.
especially in like wasn't she in a bed or something and had like her in bed or something?
In spots she did, but in this, like it was like they were standing up. Like there's the shot of them starting Get Back, and she's actually just sitting on the floor looking up at John and Paul. It's wild. I mean, my God, what a crazy thing.
Uh, and also interesting on her end too that she was comfortable. Like just like I would be so like apologetic and be like, "Is
Mm.
it okay for me to be in here? No, okay. I'm
Yeah.
just gonna let y'all be." She was like, "Nope, I'm just gonna sit right here."
Well, supposedly, and it'll be interesting to see if this is in the movie too. Supposedly, like that was a clear like when they showed up, John was like, "This is Yoko. She's going to be joining us. I don't want to hear a word about it." And it was just like, okay,
Oh,
that's it. It was just that like this is what's happening.
wow.
Because again, like it's nice to see them having so much fun. I hope the movie is fun, but I'm expecting at least some
Yeah,
of the tension from that era that is
Yeah.
legendary now.
yeah, and then also like I hope he's also just for like just cause going ahead and like remastering all of 56 hours of that footage.
The other, it's just incredible. Again, like, how is it that there's still footage? It's just the most mind blowing thing that they can still find all those tapes. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
It's wild. I can't believe that there is any stone unturned at this point, but there are. Yeah. No, I'm excited. That looked very. I've seen a lot of Beatles stuff, and that was still very like. It was shocking to see them at that time.
Yeah. And then the Paul McCartney, the other documentary coming out too. Just him with the multi-tracks.
Yes.
That's gonna be so cool. But
did you listen to McCartney 3?
I listened to a significant portion of it. And wow, you don't realize, like, you definitely realize, like, oh, he's getting older, his voice is changing. You can really hear the age, but then that last song, when it jumps back to Flaming Pie Sessions, like, wow, I did not realize his voice has changed that much.
Yeah, it's crazy. I guess when it happens gradually, you don't really notice it in the same way, but yeah, it's wild. That was a cool touch. I liked that happening at the end. I enjoyed that. Yeah, it's fun. I mean, it's fun to hear him, like, it's clearly just him, like, messing around, and enjoying himself, which I do appreciate. But I heard an interview with him very recently where he said, like, as you'd expect, he's like, at this point for him, making a record is like just a hobby. It's like a fun thing for him. He's like, I'm in an incredibly fortunate position where I don't have to do this at all, and I do it because I enjoy it, and it's just a fun thing for me to do.
That is so interesting, yeah.
But it's like, I mean, talk about the stakes couldn't be any lower. It just doesn't matter. Like, it's
true.
He's more than proved his point. Well, that was the context of the question in the interview. They were like, do you still feel like you need to go out there and, like, prove yourself and, like, really make a statement? And he was like, no. It's like, yeah, of course you don't. Why would you? Like, yeah.
I heard a super interesting interview on NPR. Well, the woman asked respectfully if he still thinks about Linda when he sings some of the songs that were written for her.
Sure.
And he said no.
Wow.
Like, oh, wow. Like, I mean, I did it then, but I'm married. And this awful accent.
He also told a story that was adorable about how he went back to Liverpool and visited some spots sort of recently for the first time in forever. And he went to his childhood home, which is now a museum in Liverpool. Like, you pay to go into this house and look around Paul McCartney's house. And he said he was standing across the street looking at it for a moment. And he's like, I swear to God, I'm looking at this place. And a guy walks up and stands next to him and just says to Paul, yeah, that's where he lived. Had no idea.
Oh,
isn't that great? Don't you love that so much?
That is amazing.
I enjoyed that a lot. I was like, that's really cute. The fact that Paul McCartney can go back to Liverpool and even have one moment like that, it makes me feel really good.
Yeah.
Just a second.
Yes. Yeah, that was actually funny. So I watched a slew of classic albums documentaries yesterday that were on, and I can't remember which. They were all back to back. I can't remember which band. I want to say it was Iron Maiden, but it was Tom Petty, then Rush, then Iron Maiden, and in one of them, one of the bandmates was like saying like, hell yeah, the front guy got all the attention and is in all the photos and whatever, and so he has to deal with getting recognized and stuff, and we get to like do whatever we want because nobody really recognizes us. It's like, yeah.
Brandy, can I tell the story of what you texted us last night with the Rush song?
Oh yeah.
Am I allowed to do that? Okay. So guys, yesterday, it was yesterday. I think it was. So yesterday, on our group chat, which we are, everybody in Wheatus is in this one big group chat that is regularly open. And Brandy texted the group and said he was watching this documentary about Rush and that they were talking about making their records and how this one song was, even after all these years, such a challenge to play and get right. It was so hard, and they still struggled with it. and I think I have the name right. And Brandy said the song was called "Travel to Anxiety."
Analysis.
Travel to analysis. Thank you. Anxiety is a different thing. Travel to analysis. And he sent this, and I didn't see it at first. Like, there's just like text after text from Brandy. He's like, travel to analysis, still so hard for them to play. And then Brendan is like, he just chimes in. He's like, travel to analysis? What is that? That's not a song. And then Brendan started guessing. He was like, do you mean, oh God, what? He's like, the Temple of Syrinx? Or I was like, what are you talking about? And of course, Brandy's like, oh God, I don't remember. It's over now. I have to go back and find it.
First, I went and looked at the Spotify track list, and I was like, I just spent an hour watching a documentary on this one album, and I couldn't. None of them rang a bell, and then I saw something of Siri, whatever, and then right after that is Divided, and I thought, oh, maybe it's like they were saying two songs at the same time, and it sounded like Travel to Analysis, and then it was like, shit, no, I gotta go back. And so I like poured over. I knew it was in the second half of the documentary, and like literally practically rewatched it trying to find that moment. And yeah, it was YYZ.
So just we're getting like travel to analysis. Like I have no idea what this is, and then finally, like an hour later, Brandy texts. He's like, "Okay, the song is called YYZ. I have no idea where travel to analysis came from." And Joey and I are sitting together. We're like, "This is peak Brandy. We have just hit maximum. Like this is insane.
There's no topping that."
What is going on?
I was I was really frustrated for a moment too, because I was like painting, I was like crafting and painting a picture frame and watching, and I so clearly heard Travel to Analysis and typed that, because on the Tom Petty documentary, Tom Petty talked about how when he's writing a song and they're trying to play it, if it's too hard, he scraps it. And then on the opposite end of the spectrum, Rush, their thing, that's like, this hard song is their favorite one because it's so hard. And of course, I'm texting away to the group, just text after text, and then I remember looking up Travel to Analysis, and like sending it, and then Brendan texts like however long later, and I don't know how that was a YYZ, like not even remotely sounds like like kind of like This Island, The Silence.
Yeah, that you can see.
Yeah, that's close.
But Travel to Analysis.
That's so great. So great.
Definitely has to be some type of name of a future jam.
Absolutely. Travel to Analysis, yeah. Without a doubt. It's got legs.
Yeah.
I loved that Tom Petty quote too. I think I've heard him say that before. It also reminds me of there's a great documentary about the band Wilco. And they talk about something similar in that. Jeff Tweedy, who's the singer-songwriter of that band, he basically says if he gets confused when arranging a song, he like pulls it back and just like acoustic guitar and voice. And he was like, if it's not amazing like that, it shouldn't be a song. Because like it has to work.
Oh, wow.
Like if me alone can't make it great, throw it away. It has to work like that always.
Yeah,
I thought that was really interesting.
It was, and it was interesting too, because it was like, that like interesting and probably unintentionally clever, because like I feel like everybody knows how to like sort of play a Tom Petty song. There's like, I don't know, it's just a very simple thing to, I mean, it not simple to play like in the context of a band or live or whatever, but like, you know, at home, especially the Last Dance with Mary Jane, good Lord.
I've talked to Joey about this before too, is I'm always that as I get older, the thing that blows my mind the most in a great song like that is Tom Petty's a perfect example, where it's like, it's so simple in so many ways, and somehow it is just elevated above everything else. And you're like, I don't know how you did this. Like, how did you make this so great with so little, like in terms of chords and like, you know, Tom Petty has so many, like Free Fallin' is an amazing example. It's a 3-chord song that has been done. Like those chords are in every song ever.
Yeah.
And somehow he turned it into this epic, like you've never heard anything like it. To me, that's like the ultimate like musical magic trick. I don't know how you can do that.
Yes, exactly. That's what I was trying to say. You said it better.
Yeah.
And then on all three, when they solo different tracks, it is like borderline like I don't understand how the engineers could have been like, yeah, this is a good take. This sounds good. Like, but in the mix, it sounds amazing with the reverb and the compression and the effects and all the whatever they need to do to it. And but just solo and dry, it's just like, how did these people have that vision or whatever ahead to be like, yeah, this will work or whatever.
That's I've had that experience with Brendan before, where we've done like, we're doing a recording session and I do a take, and he gets super excited. He was like, "That's the one," and I'm like, "Oh God, please no, that can't be the one." That was not great. But then more often than not, in the context of the song, it does, it's always, the individual tracks don't matter. It's how they all go together in the song, and things interact with each other in surprising ways sometimes, or at least they interact surprising if you're looking at it only through your one instrument and you're not thinking of the big picture thing, which you don't in that moment. That's why you need producers and engineers and people like that to keep their eye on the big picture.
Yeah, and the Iron Maiden, there's like an epic scream and they solo it, and like dry, it's just like, ah! It sounds like nothing, but like with all the effects, it's like,
I remember someone showed me, this was years ago. We're really going down tangents now. That's totally fine. But someone showed me years ago that like in hardcore and screamo bands, like 9 times out of 10, the person is just going like, actually like not even full voice. That's the effect, is you go like, but you're like practically whispering. And it's about the gain and the sound. Like you can make it sound like you're fully screaming.
Yeah.
Some people do a full voice scream, but you can get away with it the other way. So interesting.
Yeah, if you just do that close enough to the mic, it sounds so loud and so scary.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually that kind of makes me think of Mike Doty on tour with his little like lunchbox amp that he had.
That's right. Yeah, you can do a lot with a small thing if you like. Oh God, I'm going down a weird road here. I was going to say you can do a lot with a small thing if you know how to use it. I stand by that sentiment.
Did y'all see that? There's a clip of an actor, and I can't remember his name. He's on a talk show, I think in Australia, and they asked if he had like if you had to fight people off, maybe his wife or something, I don't know, or maybe a celebrity, but it was like, did you have to just beat off a lot of men? And and he could not keep it together. And he was like trying to just, whatever. And wow, you're really laughing.
Oh man.
Anyway.
Yeah. Okay. So, well, that was our intro. And we only have 2 rounds of results to do.
Yeah.
Oh.
Which is crazy, right? Oh, Brandy, yes.
Did you forget about the results, Brandy?
Yeah, no, I was just for the 2, just like.
Yeah.
This is it. This is the semifinal. So actually, I'll stay with you guys for a minute and we'll talk about it, and then I'll disappear and then reappear with the results. I think that'll be fun and different.
Also, Leo could not be here last week because he was moving.
Oh.
I was in a very I was trying to poke fun at him and Madden because they're drummers and they can never come.
That's right.
And so I said, attention to all the drummers that couldn't make it. And then it ends up he had a legitimate excuse and was in the middle of moving.
He was in the middle of moving. Yes, that's true. He did.
That's what I get for trying to be, what is it, snarky? I don't know.
Snarky. Classic.
Okay.
I think he has now moved, because Leo used to live like only a couple blocks from me and Joey, but he's now he's a Manhattan boy again.
Yeah.
Oh, crazy. I can't imagine.
Little Leo in the big city.
Little Leo in the big city.
There he goes. Look at him go.
That'll be the documentary series that we make if we can't make music next year.
There we go. That's a. We've got a whole list of alternative plans, and that's one of them.
Yeah.
It's not at the top of the list, but it's in the list.
Yes.
It's like
yeah.
top 7.
Sure.
Yeah. Definitely.
Exactly.
Well,
So, Joey, what's the first round here?
Well, let's go to the thing. The first one of 2. Lemonade versus William McGovern.
I will also say I have not looked yet. That's an important note.
Oh.
I haven't looked, so I don't know.
Oh, wow.
Well, I have looked, and I'm happy with this winner. But as we established last week, I'm happy with all of the winners now.
Yes.
So it doesn't really mean that much.
Agreed. I think that this is going to be Lemonade. I think that I could sort of see this going either way, and it's become clear that we have some serious. William McGovern has some serious devotees, which I love. I absolutely love it. But I don't know. I mean, I think also at this point, if we're looking at the board, Lemonade is a strong contender to win the whole thing. I think that I think it's going to be Lemonade.
How much of a win do you think it would have?
I'm going to say, I think it's going to be close, but I'm going to say like 60-40.
Okay.
Ooh.
I think it's going to be something in that range. Yeah.
What about you, Brandy? What do you think? Do you agree?
I actually agree, but just for fun's sake, I'll say 70-30.
Woo!
But this has been so enlightening. McGovern has been the biggest surprise.
Agreed.
I feel like McGovern. This is going to be a talking point on stage with Brenton whenever he gets ready to play William McGovern.
I think that people who come see us on the next tour should expect more McGovern.
Yeah.
It has been a real. I can't. It's hard to even explain how much it's been a talking point in the bands since this started. It's been quite a interesting thing to see. So yeah, I think more McGovern is in all of our futures, and I am on board.
Yes,
love it. And we couldn't have more Lemonade in our futures even if we tried. So either way, that's not changing either way. That's just there. That's sticking around.
Okay.
Should I disappear for a second?
And we have our predictions. Matthew thinks Lemonade will win 60-40.
Yep.
Brandy thinks Lemonade will win 70-30. Why don't you disappear and then reappear with our results?
You guys can hear me, but you can't see me. I'm just gonna.
Yeah, I guess all 4 of these contenders will be probably expected to
Yep.
be played more if possible.
Matthew, do you have a drum roll sound effect?
I don't. What do I have that could do this job?
I'm surprised you don't have a drum roll on your sound effects thing on your app.
Yeah, my ham horn.
Oh yeah. Oh wow! I just had a.
Well, I guess you could ham horn instead of a drum roll.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I have an idea. Here we go. Are we ready?
Yes.
Wow, you were like right on point.
I swear I didn't look. That is I did not
amazing.
look at all. There you go.
Wow, and I'm actually happier with that outlook or whatever result, because that makes McGovern even stronger.
It does. That's a really, really impressively close race for those 2 songs.
Wow.
Again, I'm fascinated just because I feel like if these 2 were up against each other in round 1, I would have thought it was like Lemonade 90-10. You know,
Right.
I would have thought that. So for it to be this close in the semifinal is crazy. Wow.
Yeah. Even
That's
in the
amazing.
semifinal, I'm impressed that William McGovern was able to get 40%.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
amazing.
I love that song and I think it's so good, but I always think that the way people respond to Lemonade is so, I don't know, it's just so loved and it's such a big part of our life and the show.
Yeah.
But then, and we've talked about this as well, how the if you're looking out at the crowd, the people in the front row are like the people who are in the Patreon, and the rest of the crowd are the people yelling for Lemonade. And it's the people in the front row who are yelling for William McGovern.
Yeah, it's true.
Ah, yes.
But also, I would say it's interesting to note the people in the front row are yelling for William McGovern, maybe in part because they know that they're going to get Lemonade no matter what.
Yes.
It's an interesting thing to say. It's the same as Dirtbag, right? It's like
Mhm.
you don't need to yell for Dirtbag because we're going to play it. You know we're going to play it. And Lemonade is as much of a given as any song. It is as given as Dirtbag in our set
Yes.
that it will happen. It will happen. And McGovern is far from that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I also came across on YouTube. Oh, connecting it to my somehow I got signed out on my TV, and anyway, when I signed back in, it had a Wheatus Alive like under Watch It Again, and it was a Tipsy music video.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty professional. It's like not pretty professional. It's professionally done. And
I'm
totally
pretty sure that
proud
was
about that.
Yeah, I think that was Ian put that together. The guy who's
that's from Glasgow, right?
making the documentary about the band.
Okay.
They came out on that tour and shot for a couple days, and made a video.
Oh no, what's the live video that we have from the Glasgow show?
Ian
Oh,
did
that's
that
Break
as well.
It? Break It, Don't Buy It?
Well, we have that whole set. That was the thing that we premiered on YouTube Live earlier this year. But Break It from that is also there's a music video for Break It from Glasgow.
Oh, okay, yes. I remember
Tipsy is like mostly live footage, but then some actual just tour behind the scenes stuff going on as well.
Okay.
That was neat. Like I totally forgot about that, and I'm just
That's a good. I had actually forgotten about that too, Brandy. But that did turn out really nice.
We should do
revisit that.
We should do a live stream where we each just go down a YouTube rabbit hole looking at videos, and then we do screen sharing to.
That's just we just share videos.
Like sometimes, every so often, I go onto YouTube and I search Wheatus or Teenage Dirtbag or something, and then I search videos that are recent and don't have many views, and you always find something really weird. And do you remember, this was back when we were in Northport, but we found that video of an older man who was doing a kind of reaction video to listening to Teenage Dirtbag for the first time.
I do remember that, yes.
This may have been before Brandy's time.
Before me.
But it was so joyful because he really liked it.
He did.
I love that.
He was fully on board.
I'll find that for you, Brandy, and I'll send it to you.
Yes. Please. Yeah, Leo posted a video yesterday of him and at Cambridge from like a crowd video, and it was during Dirtbag, and it was just like, this is such a joyful moment.
Yeah, it really always is. Never get tired of that one.
Yeah, really, and I never.
The Dirtbag moment is the only time it's not joyful is when the crowd is so enthusiastic that it's borderline frightening.
Yeah,
which has happened a few times. If we're in venues that are not as well staffed, or it's it's very hard to explain this experience if you're not on stage. But if you're on a stage and the crowd gets to a certain point and you think to yourself that you don't know how you could escape, it's intense. It's a weird feeling. Like there's so many more of you than us, and there's a real feeling of like, I'm sure some of you have seen us play shows where we actually have to walk through the audience to get to the stage. Which, spoiler alert, means there's no way for us to escape.
Right.
Which is, can be, that's so we've had audiences that have gotten so rowdy that it's just like, oh my God, I don't know.
Oh goodness.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
But generally, it's always very joyful.
Yeah.
So we got one more, right?
Yeah. So congratulations to Lemonade.
Yes, congratulations, indeed.
And also, this is just an interesting observation. This next one, the London Sun versus Anyway, has
Ooh.
one fewer vote than Lemonade versus William McGovern.
So like someone couldn't decide.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they were just like, no, I'm not doing it.
We were Joey and I were with my parents earlier today, and they, my dad is a member of our Patreon, and so he was like, I said like, oh, we're gonna go home and we got to film this, the results, and then he was like, oh, that means we need to vote before the polls close, and and so he consulted with my mom, and they were like, oh, let's make decisions. Lemonade versus William McGovern. And my mom across the room, she was like, Lemonade, for sure. I was like, okay, got it, done. And then he was like, Anyway versus London Sun. And she was like, She had much harder decision. Much harder decision. I'm not going to say who they voted for.
No. And we should also add, Matthew and I had no input.
Zero.
To their votes.
Zero.
I had nothing. We didn't say a thing.
Yep.
Did you say anything after they submitted their votes?
No.
No, we didn't. We just, No, Joey and I, unbiased. I was just on the couch, elevating my foot. I twisted my ankle, everybody. I'm fine. Everything's fine. But I do walk with a cane now.
Oh gosh.
So, London Sun versus Anyway.
I have no idea. I have no idea.
It's tough. These are both such good songs.
I would probably vote for London Sun only because of its emotional attachment to Mike Doyle, and just because it's one of our standard soundcheck songs, so it's maybe arguably been played as much as or right under Teenage Dirtbag, and probably more than Lemonade in terms of just like
probably.
So anyway, but it being played during sound check, it's always when people are just like, it's doing the first sound check. You're not like giving all your energy, and so people are like drinking coffee or just like tired, and we're just like all sharing that moment together. And it's that.
I agree. I have a lot of fondness for the London Sun. That's a special one for me. For people who are curious, it's a good sound check song because if you listen to it, you can hear that we pretty much all come in separately from each other. So the song starts with just drums, and then the loop comes in, then Brendan comes in, then I come in, and then the vocal. It's like it staggers the entry, so every element can be checked one by one.
I literally thought it was just because it was Doyle's favorite.
I know that
catalog.
I know Doyle loves it. Tom Benson also loves it. But I think that was the starting point of it. Is that it has every element of our set, and they have this staggered entry approach where everything can be brought in one by one.
And interestingly enough, the Anyway keyboard little is also equally played every sound check.
Yes, our left to right check
Yes.
on the PA system. Also true. Good point, Brandy. I love both of these songs. I actually have no idea which one is going to win. My vote would be for the London Sun. I also like the idea of the final two songs being from two different records. That's just appeals to me. I like the idea of we have one from Hoylo and we have one from Monsoon in the final. So I would like it to be the London Sun. I will not be even remotely upset if Anyway takes it, because I think that's also a fantastic song. And another one that we have been thinking about and considering a lot more because of this process.
Yeah,
for sure.
Totally.
This is random, but I was just thinking this, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. But am I correct in saying that none of these final four are in E?
Oh,
Okay, so London Sun
Lemonade
is in
is-
A. London Sun is in A.
Yeah.
Anyway is in C.
Lemonade is F.
is in F, and
Willie McGovern is G,
also in
I
C.
think?
No, it's in C
C.
and modulates
Okay.
to D. So you're right. No songs in E.
wow.
Thank you, Joey,
So-
for being the Brendan of this conversation
Yeah.
and getting into that.
Well,
That's good.
I'm a little bit being the anti-Brendan because he always argues that people's favorite songs are the ones that are in E. And
Ah.
now the people have spoken that they don't want to hear songs in E.
Yes,
That's fun.
that's true. If we go back to the previous round, we had the deck there, which is in E. Song that I wrote is in E. What else got eliminated?
Oh, Dirtbag, yeah.
Well, Dirtbag is definitely in E. From Listening to Lightning is in B.
Oh, yeah.
And Truffles,
And Truffles
is also
is
in
in
A.
Okay.
Yeah, there you
You
go.
know, I think my keyboard parts are so weird in Listening to Lightning. I don't think I would have been able to tell you what key it was actually in until I sat down and.
You know, I will say that Listening to Lightning has a thing where like the chorus a little bit resolves to E,
Mm-hmm.
but the verses are definitely in B.
See.
It maybe you could say it modulates. I'm not actually. I'd have to look at it a little bit more, but the chorus definitely has an E sort of a feel to it.
Yeah.
But the
That's
verses
funny.
are very much in B.
It's funny how like sometimes in songs when you just have like lines or that don't necessarily play any chords and stuff, yeah, it's like, oh yeah, what key is that in?
Yeah.
But we got
Well,
I guess it's results time. All right.
do
here.
you guys want to guess percentages like you did on the last one?
Oh God.
okay. I'm gonna guess London Sun. Um 57-43.
Nailed the math. That was exactly right. I'm gonna say. You know what? Even though I want London Sun to win, I'm actually gonna say anyway. 55-45.
Okay. 57-43. London Sun. Anyway, 55-45.
Yep. All right. I'm gonna
Okay.
disappear and set this up.
uh,
Here we go. I'm loading the image. I still don't know who
it will
wins.
never cease to be it was amusing to me how much my like nerves and heart get into this when this is just totally a self-created or a group created thing that has like no stakes in anything whatsoever.
Yeah, it really has no meaning. Nothing is going to happen with this winning song. It's
It's true.
just for the fun.
All right. Are you ready?
Yes.
Oh wow! Wow!
Brandy.
Wow!
Brandy got it as closer than I did on the previous round.
That is wow. 50,
Well done.
Well done, Brandy.
That's amazing.
yeah.
Wow. Well, you know what? That is as close as I thought it was going to be. That's very close.
Mhm.
And again, as you pointed out, Joey, I love the fact that there was one abstain. Could not make the decision on
A
this
conscientious objector.
one. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Someone just voted present.
Wow. So now this means London Sun against Lemonade.
Yep.
Very interesting.
Very interesting.
Wow. You guys. Here we are. We did it.
Here we
Well,
are.
we've made it to a
it.
final two. This is so crazy.
So crazy and like wildly, crazily fun. For
Really,
me.
yeah, truly wildly, crazily fun. Oh, I'm back in the
Oh,
Bronx.
you went to the studio.
I'm at the studio, guys.
Oh, the old before the
Yeah, I
redeck-
have some old backgrounds still here. I usually don't. This is, yeah, I could go to Brandy's house.
Oh, that was before I had curtains.
That was back like earlier in the pandemic when there was a lot less going on.
Yes.
I was thinking recently, do you remember like really early on when the lockdowns first started? Remember how like what a novelty it was to go on Zoom?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
It was like such a like oh, this will be fun. We can video chat.
Well, remember one of our first video chats was for Carly's birthday, and there were like 40 people in the
It was
Zoom,
huge, yeah.
and it was
crazy.
so overwhelming, and it was the first thing we'd seen, and it was like, wow, look at this, it's crazy, look at all these people. And now if you said, oh, I'm sending you a link to a Zoom birthday party and there's going to be 40 people there, I'll be like, oh, I think I'm working.
Yeah.
Oh, darn.
Ah.
I'm gonna be watching a show and I wish I didn't have to watch it, even though I want to.
There was a I'm not going to name names because it doesn't really matter, but there was a Zoom event happening not that long ago that I was a part of, and we had a couple friends had invited people to this thing, and right before it started got a message from this person about like, it's literally just like this, like, oh, can you log on Zoom and like we'll chat for a little bit, and got a text from this person that said, due to exhaustion, I am unable to attend. And I was just like, in a way, I was like, how tired can you be to not be able to hit this log into Zoom? But then on the other hand, I was like, you know what? I get it.
Yeah.
I do get it. I really do. It does. It's just so funny to think back again. Like we did the thing for Carly, and we even had like a couple Wheatus, like just band hangouts in Zoom like this. And they were really fun at the time, but it was like, that was at the time where we were like, oh, isn't this a wild 4 weeks we're in the middle of?
Yes.
But it quickly built up so much because it was like every group of people that you have, like every one of your circles was like, oh, we should make this a weekly thing. Let's do a weekly Zoom. And then suddenly it was like every day had 3 Zoom chats. I was like, this is more active than I was pre-pandemic.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm not prepared for this. I'm not that social.
Yeah, and I'm always like not always telling people will get no by now, but like I'm a text person. Telephone calls are incredibly draining for me.
Yes, anyone who's watching, Brandy is a text person.
And I'll be texting with someone and they will call me like right after I send a text and is like not answering. Like I can text you right now, but I can't talk.
I do the exact same thing. If I text someone and like, hey, how you doing? Like, are you free today? And then the phone rings. I'm like, hell no. I wanted to make plans with you, and now I don't anymore. It's over.
Oh God, something about the phone. I have to like sit still or pace the house, and I can't do any other activity. And
see, I do the same. I'm the same as Brandy. If I'm on the phone, I am actively doing laps of the house. I'm walking from room to room, back and forth. I can't not do it. It's crazy.
If I sit still, I'm like, I have to get off the phone. I have to get off the phone. But anyway.
Yeah.
Except for Farmer Brandon.
Farmer Brandon's the exception. Yeah, I think everyone has like an exception or two to that.
He has he lives out on a farm, does not have a television, and kind of gets like weirded out every once in a while if he goes too long without human contact. So there is a mental health aspect to that I feel compelled to.
Sure.
Yeah.
I would do this. Like, I'm not gonna tell my mom to text me. If she calls, I'll answer the phone.
Oh, and yes, mom.
That's fine. That's fine.
Always, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess that's it for today. So, Brandy, are you? I don't mean to put you on the spot, but are you free to join for our our New Year's evening Zoom?
Absolutely. What time? When are we planning?
I think we said we were going to start around 6 o'clock New York time. So that'd be about 5 for you. Is that all right?
Perfect.
Great. We'll hang out and mess around like we do, and we'll announce who the final winner is. and we'll get to say Happy New Year to some people who watch this chat. Not all of them, but some. Well, we'll say Happy New Year to everyone, but not at New Year's. You know, it's like, because that would be a lot for us.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then I have no idea. If I'm being totally honest with everyone, I have no idea how we follow this in Patreon land. I don't know what we're gonna do. We're gonna find something.
Well, we had a couple of ideas for different types of games.
Mhm.
If maybe people would be interested in some kind of game. I don't quite know how. I don't know if it was going to be just us or if somehow people in the Patreon can play along. I don't know. But we have some ideas.
Well, there you go. So I have no ideas, but you have ideas, and that's what
Brandy and I
matters.
had some ideas.
Yeah, we did
this is
have,
it.
like, a really brilliant night one night where we thought of like ideas and names of the games.
Mm-hmm. And that, I think, was the same chat time that we came up with this idea.
Yes.
Wasn't it?
Oh, yes.
See,
Yeah.
so you're in good hands, people. Don't worry. Joey and Brandy are gonna make sure that we got plenty of stuff going on.
What did we come up with a name for this, or was this just
No, this never had
the Wheatus
proper
Song
name.
Tournament is all we came up with. We never came up with a catchier title than that.
Yes.
I made I didn't even tell anybody this, but I made a little live album out of the Zoom we did last time of the top 8.
Oh.
And once again, could not come up with a title, so I just named it Wheatus performing their 8 best songs as voted by Patreon members over Zoom.
That sounds like a Brandy file name.
Right?
And usually if I have instead of being like final 2, final edit 2, I usually will name it final, a dash, and then a long explanation of what's different about this version.
Oh, God, that's Brendan, too. I don't have to tell you that.
Yeah.
When we do takes with Brendan, he saves the file names. He's like, like 7/12, 2010. This is the one with the great ending from After Lunch. That's the name of this file. It's like,
Well,
oh man.
Well, it wouldn't be like that because I have to. It's very akin to Memento, that movie. I that resonated with me because when I come back to things, I have no memory. Like, well, what was this one? So, yeah.
Okay, so more games, and I hope again. I don't know. I hope we can still get you up here, Brandy, to play and do something at some point soon. I know last time I saw Brendan, he was continuing to say that it remains a goal, and we just got to figure out a way we can do it safely.
Yeah, every time we loosely discuss plans, a new wave happens.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I'm sure we'll find a way sooner than later to, we can all. We talked tentatively about the idea of everyone getting tested and kind of like locking down with each other for a chunk of time where we can get a lot of work done, and I'm all about that. I think that
we should just do that and then just have cameras permanently streaming, and then that's content.
Oh God!
Just like stream on Twitch or something where it's just a 24-hour a day Wheatus house lockdown stream. It would be so boring for everyone, but
it really would.
It would be content.
It would be.
That's it.
And you see lots of me like raising my shirt up because I just do that, sitting at the keyboard and board.
See Brandy raising his shirt up. Brandy ordering a single bag of M&Ms off of DoorDash.
Yes.
And waiting hours for it to arrive because the person made a wrong turn.
Yes, watching them get so close and then get redirected. Yes.
Yeah. Oh God. All right. Well, more of everything soon. But in the meantime, it's good to see you guys. Thanks for helping with the results.
Yes.
Of course.
And
thanks, Brandy.
Thank you, Brandy. And we'll see everyone again on New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool.
Here we go.
The votes will open for the final as
shortly.
Immediately as we can. Yeah.
Very shortly. Okay.
We're And we'll play the winning song live on our instruments backwards,
The winning song will be performed backwards, starting at midnight.
including lyrics.
Okay, bye everybody.
Bye.
Bye.